All right.
So we're really honored at the App Showcase here to have our next guest. Our next guest was briefly last week in the enviable position of having the #1 paid app in the iTunes App Store. David Pogue wrote an amazing review in the New York Times last Wednesday, and the next day they skyrocketed up the charts, and then some bad things happened to them. So here to tell us more about what they went through from Line2. Line2 is the name of the app. The name of the company is Talk to Me. Peter Sisson.
This thing's broken, so I'm going to switch. I'm going to give him my mic. I'll use this one. I'm going to give you mine because that one's broken.
Okay, but how do they make it?
I'll use this. There's the one right here. Oh, here, let's put this one in.
Test.
Sorry. Sorry about the noise.
Hello? Okay.
I don't know. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
There we go. Cool.
All right.
So what is Line2? And I have a feeling that this building is made for your demo because I can't get 3G on my iPhone right now, and I'm jonesing for it.
It is. So I'm going to just try and do this, do a quick demo, and then we'll talk about what happened to us after we launched. But we are basically an app that allows you to add a second line to your iPhone, so you have 2 numbers on 1 phone. But what's really interesting about it is that it allows you to reduce your AT&T bill or get coverage where you don't have AT&T service because it automatically switches over to Wi-Fi when it can make calls over Wi-Fi, or it can make calls over cellular, and it all happens automatically. Yes, there are a lot of solutions out there. There's Skype, there's TruePhone, there's Google Voice, there's all sorts of things you can cobble together to do this. But what's interesting about Line2 is it just works, and it basically looks just like the iPhone app. And it's, as David Pogue wrote about it last week, and he did a video review. But the most interesting thing he pointed out in the article is, like, how did this get approved? Because you know, if there's no app that proves that Apple didn't approve Google Voice purely because they're competitors, it has nothing to do with likely to cause confusion with the iPhone app, because this is what this app looks like. It's got you know, it's basically, you've got your contacts, you've got your recent call history, you've got visual voicemail, you've got settings, but where we're different now from the iPhone app is you can set preferences as to whether you want the calls to go over VoIP or whether you want them to go over 3G. You can even turn on, or over cellular, you can also turn on 3G, so you can make calls over the 3G data network and not give AT&T a minute of voice coverage. So you can reduce your cell phone bill, and as Robert pointed out, when you're in a situation where you don't have coverage, you can make calls. I'll do just a quick, so here we are. Is that visible?
Yep. Yeah. Pull it down a little bit. There you go.
Okay. It's texting me. A friend just texted me. He was in New York, and they showed a clip about Line2 in the taxi cab in one of those televisions. But let me go back to the app.
Now, can I forward? Because I have my number all over the internet. It's, you know, you can look it up on Google, and it comes in here. Can I forward my iPhone into my second line? So
you could do that, or we'll port your number over for free, which we do. So, you know, a couple, just to show you, here's, well, no, what are you guys talking about? I see 5 bars of AT&T there. So, huh? Okay. Okay. So let me just call, I'll call FedEx. I don't know if you can hear it. So it's doing the call. Let me mute. So it's doing the call over VoIP right now. I don't know if you can hear anything.
Say, schedule a pickup or press 1. To find out where a package is using
so
your FedEx
I can do things like what I like to do is like conference in American Airlines auto attendant. And then call American Airlines. So there's FedEx on hold.
Welcome to American Airlines.
And then I merge the calls. And then the 2 auto attendants do battle with each other. So anyway,
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your request. I'll connect you to a FedEx representative.
So you can add up to 20 people in a conference. You can transfer calls. You can do this with all without burning a single AT&T minute. But the thing is, if you're making your calls over Wi-Fi when you're at home, then you get out in your car. Well, then it'll switch to cellular, and people will call you back on the same number, the same caller ID when they got when you're making calls over Wi-Fi. But now it comes in over cellular, and so.
Can you walk from Wi-Fi into cellular?
You can walk from Wi-Fi to 3G data and 3G data into Wi-Fi on a live call, and it'll transfer the call. The other thing that it does that no VoIP app does on the iPhone is that if you're on a VoIP call and you get a call to your regular AT&T number, if you decline that call, your VoIP call will not be ended. Whereas if you're on Skype or TruePhone, if you're on a VoIP call and someone calls you on your regular iPhone number, it'll drop the call. And that's a deal killer for a lot of people. So it's a very powerful second line, which I think you can use as your primary line on your iPhone because it just works. And yes, you could use Skype, but if you call someone on Skype when you're where there's only Wi-Fi and then they call you back, well, what's the caller ID? Either Skype has no caller ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe you set the caller